is bashing the right thing to do or not the right thing to do? Leave a comment and let us know. We don't know.
Hey everyone, welcome to Jason Explains Things. We're back to work on my dad's super low mileage 2003 Jeep Wrangler TJ. In this video, we're installing and hardwiring an awesome off-road radio, and I surprised my dad with the ultimate recovery gear kit.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy. For you. Last time we were, you guys saw this Jeep, we were working on these off-road lights. That day, we actually had more planned, but we had some missing parts. Well, those parts are no longer missing. So,
that's right.
Dad, what are we doing today?
I think we're gonna put in the radio, right? And put the antenna up.
Yes, yeah. So we have a Midland GMRS radio. We have a really cool antenna mount that I found on Amazon we're gonna show you, and a whole bunch of other little things to make this work. The really cool thing about a Jeep is it's super easy and approachable for anyone who hasn't done it before. There's even a spot in the fuse box that we're gonna tap into, so we don't even have to like run power to the battery or anything like that. We're gonna just plug right in like it was meant to be that way, because it was meant to be that way. All right, well, let's look at the parts.
Special thanks to my channel sponsor, Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner. I use it seasonally to keep my vehicles running great.
All right, so we got our table full of parts. We have the Midland MXT275 GMRS radio. This is a 15-watt radio, really nice high-powered unit. It comes kind of in a plug-and-play mode where you have like a little magnet antenna and a power cable that just goes into a 12-volt cigarette lighter. That's all well and good, but we're gonna do it a lot more cleanly and coolly than that. So we got those parts. Also, Dad opted for the coolest and most badass antenna you could possibly get. This is the 6.6 dB gain heavy duty bull bar antenna, and it's like 1,000 feet long and it's super cool.
Maybe it's too cool. Stay to the end of the video because I'll go over why that antenna turns out to be wrong for this install, but we go with a very similar 3 dB gain 28-inch bull bar antenna instead of the 6 dB 47-inch version.
We got a really nice antenna mount that we're gonna this ties into behind the tail light on the passenger side in the rear of the Jeep. So also this antenna, we could probably mount it like directly to the bumper or wherever you like, just to kind of get it tucked away and less likely to hit things and branches and stuff once we start taking this out into the woods. I think this is gonna be a nice protected place. Maybe not the best place when it comes to rain reception, but again, this is all overkill stuff, so it's gonna be fine. Along with that, we also have a couple other parts. We got fuse taps, we have some heat shrink, and these are marine grade, so I really like those, and some other tools as well.
All parts, supplies, and tools are listed and linked in the description. Let's first tackle mounting the antenna.
We were doing a little bit of off-camera making sure this plan will work, but next we're gonna take the this tail light assembly off. Behind it is just the mounting points that we already have.
The antenna mount comes with the option to install a riv nut to the body of the Jeep. This adds another mounting point to the existing 3. There is a wrinkle in doing this, however, that we'll cover in a bit. We first installed the antenna mount without the extra riv nut, using heavy-duty double-sided mounting tape to add extra strength and to protect the paint, along with 3 10mm bolts that hold the taillight in place. After finishing, we determined it flexed too much with the antenna installed.
That's a little flexy, we don't like that.
Time to mark our spot for the extra hole and drill it out.
How good is that mounting tape?
Well,
it's pretty good.
it's pretty good.
Hey, well, that's good. Oh! Looking at the riv nut that it came with, I think 3/8 is gonna be the right size, but it might be a tiny bit small, so we'll find out. We can always go bigger, but we can't go smaller. Loose, there we go. There we go. Whew, all right. Oh, there's something right behind there. Uh-oh.
Indeed there was. Behind the sheet metal was an angled piece of metal sandwiched between the outer and inner part of the body. This made it impossible to install the riv nut without getting it out of the way. Because it was at an angle, drilling it out would be impossible without messing up the outer hole. Dad made the executive decision to use a punch and hammer to dent the metal out of the way. This ended up working, but I would advise caution doing this. Looking at the antenna mount instructions, I'd imagine this is why they included the option to install a riv nut, but did not explicitly tell you to do so in their install instructions. Moving on, I used a step bit to slightly widen the hole from 3/8 of an inch,
Yay!
painted the bare metal to prevent rust, and installed the riv nut.
So this is a riv nut tool I've had from Harbor Freight, works great. Also, I'll have a link on Amazon to a similar one. So we just thread this on here like this. We'll feed it down in there and squish it on. Ready? Yeah, it's working. Good. Yeah, man. Success.
Good?
Success. All's well that ends well.
We used the double-sided mounting tape again, this time vertically, so any water won't get trapped behind the mount. We then reinstalled the light with the 3 10mm bolts, and then the extra stainless bolt that goes to the riv nut. Be sure to not over-tighten the riv nut bolt.
Couple notes about our Midland bull bar antenna mount. It has a built-in spring. It's just going to screw into the top right here. This is the part that's going to go into the mount that we just installed. We have this nut that's going to cross right in here and thread in, and we can tighten it down. Really, really slick design, as you can see. Now, I'm going to redeem myself from a past radio install video where I actually showed like passing this whole thing through the firewall. You don't need to do that. Actually, this part just disconnects from this part and just comes off. So you can have a much smaller hole. So we live and learn. Okay, with the mount done, we're going to run the cable as cleanly but also as easily as possible. So we're just gonna actually kind of go up right, and we'll get a close-up right in this little corner right here. So we're gonna wrap around here and then go down the carpet towards the dash. So we got a little bit of the remaining antenna cable to just tuck under the carpet, which we're gonna do.
Next, mount the radio body. Dad chose this spot in the middle, directly above the center console. Originally, I mounted the radio off to the side, but it interfered with folding the passenger seat forward. If above the center console doesn't work for you, I'd suggest mounting it inside the dash, and then install an adapter plug for the handset to plug into. All controls and a speaker are actually incorporated into the handset, so the body of the radio doesn't need to be accessible if you don't want it to be. We secured the radio mount with double-sided mounting tape and 2 very small screws that we pre-drilled. The antenna wire screws into the back of the radio. The handset clip is secured with included mounting tape, and we added 1 small screw. Again, pre-drill for safety.
Ta-da!
Here's how we hardwired power without taking up a 12-volt outlet.
So we got the glove box out of the way because that is where all your fuses are. And looking at the nice handy diagram, so this radio uses essentially a 5-watt fuse. So everything is kind of overkill. Everything is like 10, 15, or 20. We're gonna tap into a keyed power source. In this case, we're gonna use the radio, which is number 14. We're going to adapt one of these guys here, where this is a fuse tap. And actually, so it piggybacks off of it, we're gonna have the 10 amp first and then the 5 after it. And then for ground, we just need to ground to a nice metal source, a grounded spot.
If you're enjoying this video, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. I also have radio install videos for a Toyota Tacoma, 4Runner, and Chevy Colorado that I'll link below in the description.
Tug test. Awesome. All right. These are marine grade, so let's make sure this is never coming apart. You have to come up here. These are wires, Tobus. See the wires?
Do I need to bark at it?
Can I eat it? Here's our final wiring for the radio. We have essentially the stock base up until this point where we cut it off. Again, we don't need the inline fuse because we're gonna have the fuse right here, right? And then we have a little bit extra length for our ground. Last thing to note for the wiring is which fuse goes where. So we just pulled the 10 amp fuse out of the number 14 spot for the radio. So That one goes closest to the prongs, right? Because essentially the new one, which has the wire going off of it, that one is piggybacking off of the other one. So also, this is a good note, you don't want something that requires more power than the one that's before it, right? If that makes sense. So we're putting our 10 amp fuse right there. Then we're doing the 5 right after it. We'll plug that in and hook everything up, and we are done. Yeah, I like that.
Connect power to the radio, screw the antenna onto the base, and lock it in with the supplied Allen wrench, and the install is done.
Wanted to give Dad and you guys a demo of the MXT275 as far as the controls. So you got your power here on the top. Turning it on. You have your up and down channels are the buttons on the top. So the lower ones, essentially 1 to 14 are your FRS, your low watt channels, and 15 to 21 are your highs. So we usually, when we're off-roading groups, usually use 15 and up. So other cool features, you got your weather.
Standard time Wednesday, February 26th. For tonight, partly cloudy.
You got your menu button here. Now, the menu system in this, you're going to want to keep your owner's manual for this radio because it's essentially hieroglyphics, and I don't remember what any of them are. But I think you can change other things. But anyway, you have your lock button if you don't want to be able to accidentally switch a channel by mistake, which happens. You got your volume, which is the front ones right here, and then you got your monitor if you just want to hear static. And then you got your button here on the bottom right is to just cycle through channels and listen to people. See what we get. Oh.
We're going to address the antenna length in a second, but first, up until now, Dad has been carrying some less than awesome off-road recovery gear. I decided to surprise him with an awesome USA-made kit that I've personally carried for years.
Oh my goodness.
For those who don't know, this is very similar to the recovery gear I've been carrying for the past several years. This is AV's Trail Edition recovery gear. So first off, I added a couple things to it. A shovel. This is not the world's best shovel. It's a
but it's
kind of
small.
U.S. military issue. Especially for snow and sand, it's kind of nice to have like a full-size shovel.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a big boy silky saw. I don't know if you've used these before.
Yeah.
I've cut down a full-size tree with one of those.
That's neat.
A chainsaw is always good to have, but this just fits in there.
That's sweet.
So that's for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is a winch extension strap. So this is a static, I think this is made out of polyester, yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is a polyester 30-foot by 3-inch. So say you have to winch, but you can't get very close to a tree, or maybe you want to do a double line pull, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's what that's for.
Sweet.
Snatch block.
Yep, those are always nice.
Made in the USA.
That's good. Yeah.
A sticker that you can now.
Oh, okay, now
actually,
I can be official.
You can actually use.
Okay.
This is a tree strap.
Yeah.
10-foot long tree strap. That's
Okay.
for you.
Very nice.
And the big guy here. This is a kinetic recovery strap.
That's the ones that expand.
This is the one that, this is made out of nylon, and it stretches 20%. So that's what this is.
Sweetness. Very cool.
There. Air down tool.
Oh,
You
that's
need one
nice.
of those.
Cool.
You've been asking about those.
Yeah.
2 anchor shackles. These also go with the kit as well. Oh,
gloves.
gloves.
You have to have the AV gloves.
Gotta have
right?
the gloves.
Yes.
There you go.
All right, man. I'm set now.
And then I added also 2 soft shackles. So these are great to kind of wrap around other things. Sometimes when the especially between 2 different ropes. So that's why I added these.
Sweet.
So, you are official.
I'm official.
And since we all have to be able to like save each other, because
I know.
I for one love to get stuck. So you can save it.
I saw that in your last video.
Yes, yes, indeed. All right, everybody. Well, that's it for this one. Please like, share, subscribe, leave comments. Go ahead and make fun of me for the mistakes I made today. I can take it. And we'll see this Jeep out in the woods hopefully very soon. Oh, we do have some projects to do on it. We have a leaky rear main seal that we need to fix, and we're going to upgrade the linkages to the transfer case.
Right.
Other than
They're on the way.
cool.
Yep.
So other than that, this thing is good to go.
Yep.
So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy. For you. It's a couple weeks later. This all turned out great, but we knew right off the bat that this awesome antenna you bought is a little too much awesome.
Yeah, we'd have to put monster tires on it or something.
Yeah, and also just the fact that, again, around here, you're dealing with a lot of trees on the trail. There's just a lot of torque to this, and we noticed actually that if you bend it from the top, it actually starts to flex the sheet metal a little bit. So we knew right after we finished that this is not going to work. So what we have here is the same series Midland bull bar heavy duty antenna, but this one is 28 inches long rather than 1,000. So we're gonna swap it out right now, and I guess you're gonna be putting this on Facebook Marketplace or something.
Yeah, something.
All right.
Anybody want one?
Yeah. Huh? There we go. We know what we're doing. Yeah.